Hello and welcome to YouTestMe 12.2. We have several improvements that we would like to showcase to you today. More accessible, easier to use, performance improvements, and so much more. We've included an option to make accessing additional actions easier. No need to select the three dots. Now all you need to do is select one of the available options as seen on the screen. Now pages include an instructional video on the top of the screen in the right-hand corner. We've added a feature to impersonate users, giving admins the possibility to enact actions on their behalf. And there are various performance improvements within the application. In the Assignments module, you will notice an improvement in the list and calendar views. In the list view, you will see that There and Now filters included to make it easier to decipher which tests are ready to be taken, which tests are ready to be retaken or continued, and which ones you can view the results on. You can also tell by the little icons in the table if a test must be purchased or if it is proctored, for instance. And you can even easily check if there is a deadline and the seating capacity. In the calendar view, let's compare the new and old designs on these two screens. As you can see, you can filter the tests by availability in this part of the screen. All of the featured changes for the test also apply for the survey views. When doing a training course, there will no longer be a side menu displayed here. Now the course will be available in full screen. And if a candidate needs to, they can have easy access back by simply clicking on the breadcrumb link up here or logging out. There are also many improvements to the User Profiles module. A list of users is now available to view by filtering users that were created by you specifically or all users in the system. You can add new users by clicking this button manually or import users through an Excel file. If needed, you can also filter inactive users. And lastly, you can access some additional settings in the tab just beside this one. You can easily add or remove some custom properties and find an additional tab for getting a registration link. You will set the settings for the registration link, and for the user who uses this same link, there will be a profile created and they will get a role in a defined group. This is the user's group page. Settings for user groups have been reorganized slightly and some notable improvements have been included here. For instance, the self-enrollment settings have been moved to the tab up here, as you can see. You can make settings for the self-enrollment user group here as well, such as the invitation link. Now, instead of manually creating a user profile and adding them to a group, you can directly create a profile here in this user group. The Reports tabs have also been improved, as seen on the screen. You can access the chart reports or the predefined reports in the tab next to it. Roles and permissions appear very similar visually, but now we have included a two-factor authentication setting on the role level, which can be enabled if needed. In the predefined report settings, you can add default favorite reports for this specific role. Names and role permission descriptions have been improved significantly. In the permissions field, it might be useful to know we have included a new permission for publishing tests, surveys, and training courses. And there are several improvements for managing and creating testing sessions and user groups. After the upgrade, your user role will not need to be updated. All permissions you had prior will still apply to you even after the upgrade has been committed. Moving on to the New Test tab. Overall, this process has almost stayed the same with minor adjustments for a better workflow. For instance, the test instructions can now be done on the second step of the test wizard. After you've created your test, its status will be a draft. To make it visible to your candidates, you will need to first create a testing session and publish the test. This will make it public. On the Manage Test page, you can view a list of all tests. You can see the status and the actions you can take for this test. A reorganization of test tabs has been made so that it is more practical and logical for the users. The Grading Configuration tab is now also available here, rather than being its separate tab above. Suspended tests are now called archived tests. The status of the test is now visible here or beside the breadcrumb. The button to publish a test is now visible on the Basic Information tab. In the Questions tab, You can view a list of test versions and also generate new test versions. Moving on to the Testing Sessions tab, it is possible to view it on the Manage Test page, and it shows a list of sessions for a certain test. Now you can see when a session is active or otherwise inactive. Until you activate the session, it will not be visible to candidates, nor will an email be sent to said candidates either. When enabling self-enrollment, you will now have the option to make it available for anyone in the system or for a specific group or a specific training course from this drop-down menu. Only one of these options can be selected at a time. If you want to have a single test with multiple sessions but selectively decide for a certain session to have a lockdown browser or proctoring, that is also possible now. When adding a proctor to a session, we will do so on this same page. Click the dots button and then authorize your proctors by selecting this option. You can also include session managers into a specific session. These are people who are in charge of managing a single or multiple testing sessions, but not the test itself. This is what the list view looks like for the testing sessions now. It also has some adjustments such as the status and the availability, etc. On the Candidates tab, you can also view all of the sessions for that specific test on the left side, and the table will display all the candidates scheduled to take the test. You can see a new option here. Filter by status. This will tell you the amount of attempts, passes, fails, etc. This page also has a Progress tab now where you can see various information related to question answers. In the Monitoring tab, you can see some adjustments as well. For instance, these three views are in the right-hand corner. In the Test Administration tab, you can add or view managers for a test, authorizations, and also the comments left by managers. The Report section allows an overview of all reports for a test, summarized. That is, Report Builder, Summary Report, and the predefined reports for a test are all displayed here. In the Manage Certificates tab, users can now add custom certificates by using a Jasper file. For more information, you can also click on this Read More button in case of need assistance when creating a templater. On the Question Pools page, while there aren't many changes, you will notice that the Creation and Options buttons have been moved lower, above the pool name. In the Questions tab, when editing a question, you will see a label that says that a current version will be updated as it has not yet been used in any tests. Or it will state that a new one will be created because it is being used in a test already. When creating a new version, you will be allowed to define an activation time for that version. Additionally, for each question, you can view a log of question changes or click to compare changes in questions. The reports have been separated into three sections: question statistics, question distribution, and predefined reports. The Grading Scale module now has a special section for question grading templates. When grading questions, you'll be able to select predefined points from the Predefined Points field. After selecting the desired number of points, the number in the Achieved Points field will update automatically. All changes we covered here also apply to surveys. The Testing Center module is a centralized hub where you can manage all sessions and attempts within the system. This page, you can see a list of sessions for all available tests in the system. You can easily filter sessions for a specific test if needed, or you can create a session for one or more tests. On the Test Attempts page, you can access test attempts of all candidates, regardless of which test they took. You can easily filter test attempts by test, status, etc. Additionally, you can monitor candidates, access their recordings, and manage special accommodations and special requests. There hasn't been a lot of drastic changes to the training courses. The Options drop-down menu has been moved lower. Many hints have been added to help you understand the new features and old. You can use this link for direct access to the training course, and you can check this box for requiring confirmation of attachment review. Now you can also include not only tests, but also surveys in the training courses, and you can choose to embed descriptions by importing them from the library. When it comes to reporting, there also has not been many drastic changes here either. You can see that some reports, however, have been reorganized. Thank you for watching and see you soon.